What is up, everyone, and welcome to another cryptocurrency market update. Here we are actually doing a hot take, a hot take on Bitcoin. So we're starting off here on the weekly time frame. We have this bullish trend that is continuing here on the weekly time frame. We're trying to continue that again here with the push above the previous all-time high level right here, up at 58,577 on this exchange. We did not come down to the blue level before forming a low and then pushing above. So this is looking pretty bullish in my opinion. If we look at the 3-day time frame, what we can see is, I'll talk about these levels because these are on the daily time frame. We had this sweep of this low right here on this 3-day candle. And you can see on that level right there, what we did was the whales pushed the price into this level so they could grab stop losses that people put below this low, so then they could have enough orders to fill their positions, their long positions, so then the price can continue to go up for new all-time highs potentially. And so you can see 3 wicks into this level, but no close below this level. That's very bullish. And so what we saw here was then a lower high in comparison to this one, higher low, and then higher high. So we're in an hour and a half, if we close above this black zone right here, which it's looking like it is going to, then that will be our indication that the three-day time frame is now bullish once again, and then that will most likely indicate that we will eventually go to new all-time highs if we don't in the next day. But if we look at this on the daily time frame, what we can see is we pushed down right here through this gray zone. We pushed into it here. We rejected off of it for this nice short trade right here. We pushed into it again, rejected off of it a second time, but then the third test of it right here, we pushed through it and closed above. So if we come back into this gray zone at any point in time, this will be a very strong support level for us. Now, will we come back into this zone? I'm not sure. And the reason for that is because if we look at the 12-hour time frame, we can see that, we have this inverse head and shoulders pattern right here with our left shoulder right here, head, and then right shoulder. And this is a bullish reversal pattern, meaning that the bearish price action is now over and we are now going into a bullish trend. And so what we're seeing right now is we came down. I was looking to long this gray zone yesterday. I talked about that in the video. We did not get our entry. We missed it by a very small margin, probably less than 1%, and we are now trading up from there. We are running into this daily zone, though, that I want to talk about. This daily zone is our resistance level right now. So if we blow right through this zone and close 2 candles above it, I will look to long a retest of this zone to look for new all-time highs, even higher than the ones that we'll print if we continue to go higher. But that is something that we don't know if it's going to happen just yet, because we might reject off this red level and go into this gray level, which would be a very good long entry in my opinion, with a tight stop loss below that gray zone. Now, if we look at this on the 12-hour time frame, something I really like about this is on the Ichimoku cloud, which I like to use with doubled settings, which is 2060, 120, 30. It slows down the signals that you get. You get less signals, but the signals that you do get are usually a lot stronger. You can see that we just had this bullish TK cross right here, which is the Tenkan, the blue line, and the red line crossing. And the Tenkan crosses above the red line, and now we are pushing up in a bullish direction with the cloud starting to curl its way up here, indicating that this is looking really bullish. And so you can tell, because wherever we're in the position where we get this TK cross above the cloud like this, you can see what happens subsequently is we go massively bullish for a pretty big run. And so we just got this cross a couple 12-hour candles ago, and we're currently pushing up from there. We're running into a 12-hour resistance level right here, but this is the bear's last line of defense. If this level does not hold as resistance, we will go to new all-time highs, and then at that point we're in price discovery, and I will start to switch on the pivot indicator. And you can see right now we're also running into this R2 pivot on the hourly time frame here, and so that is acting as resistance for us as well. But this R3 pivot, the next one up here, is at 61.8, which is confluent with the measured move from the inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. That would take us right up to about the R3, which is up at 61.8. If we do not go all the way up to 61.8, it is probably because we run into the R1 on the daily time frame, which is right here at about 58.4. The next daily one, though, is way up here at 71,600 roughly. If we go to the weekly time frame, the yearly pivot, the R3, is up here at 63.2. So that is going to be the main level that I'm going to look to take profits if we end up pushing up into this level. I'll take some off the table there just because that is a very significant level. If you look on the monthly time frame, you can see that whenever we touch these levels, like the first month we touched the R1, we rejected off it, but then the next month we just kept going bullish. The R2, we touched it, we closed below it, but then the month 3, or the third month here, we're pushing up and we might go into the R3 here. But you can tell that we've had just this parabolic rise in Bitcoin over the past several months, and these yearly pivot levels are acting as pretty good measures to where we can try and take some profits off the table. But if you look at the 4-hour time frame, here is the potential trade that I just entered now. It is on this support level right here, this black candle right here, which is what this purple zone was. But you can see that what we did right here was we pushed through this gray zone. We came up, we formed a higher low in comparison to this one, a higher high, and then we came down, swept the liquidity below this low right here. If we zoom in, we can see the price went into below this wick right here with both of these candles, but then since that point pushed above and closed above, meaning this black candle right here is a very strong support level for the bulls. Another reason why I like this trade is because it's the only real main level here in between the gray zone and the red daily zone. So those are the two daily zones, and this is a main level that if this level does not hold for the bulls, then we go down to the gray zone, and then I'll just long the gray zone. So this is, one way of going about your investments is thinking about like if this, then that. And so if we don't go down to the gray zone, we're going to bounce off this purple zone. So I want to go long on the purple zone, which is what I did right here. I have my entry in right here at about 56K. And then you can also see this purple block is also confluent with this other white candle right here, which if we draw a rectangle on that, you can see that the first time that we pushed into this purple zone right here, I'll move this over. You can see that we pushed into it, we came down, we rejected off it initially. You can't really tell we rejected on this exchange because the price that it came down to was the exact same price. It was 53.33. And then since then we came up, rejected off it again. We did not close above it, came down a second time. So this is a valid level as well. So whenever you see levels stack up like this, like support levels stack up like this, where you're seeing two levels overlaying on each other, that's a good indication that that's probably a pretty strong level. And so I'm looking to also get a bid filled down here if we get to the bodies of the candles, because that's our strongest level. We may not get down to that level just because you can tell already with this, the way this candle is shaping up, we already have above average bull volume if we closed right here. But if somehow we do end up going down into this level, that is where my second bid will be. But if we do not go into that level, we can also see on the Ichimoku cloud here that we just closed for the first candle a valid 4-hour pattern, which is the most bullish pattern for this indicator. And that is the Tenkan above the Kijun. both of those above the cloud flipping green, and then price above the Tenkan and the Kijun. And so whenever you get this, let me just show you a quick example of the last time that this happened right here. So the last time that this happened, and let's even go down to the other time that it happened way down here. You can see that if you were to even right here, they crossed. The moment that this was valid was this little white candle right here. You would open your long right here and look at what happened subsequent. We just parabolic rise. We just continue parabolic rise, and we just keep doing that until eventually it crosses below. And then once we get that cross below, that's our signal. Okay, now we're in for consolidation. We consolidated some more, and then boom, right here, we get the same entry again. It was on this candle right here. You'd enter a long, and you could put your stop loss. What I did was I put my stop loss, if you're playing this strategy, you can put it below the closest support level, which is the bottom of this low right here. You can see we almost went into it, but we didn't. So we didn't get stopped out, and then parabolic rise, and we just ride that all the way up until it crosses below. And then we wait for the same trade again. And here it is again. For the third time, we get our Tenkan above the Kijun above the cloud, price above Tenkan and Kijun, cloud green. You enter a long right on the close of this candle. And you put your stop loss below this black candle, and you just wait to see what happens. And that's what I just did. And so we'll see what happens, but usually when this happens, this is a very strong trend following indicator. And so trend following indicators like this are extremely powerful, especially if you have like doubled settings like I do, because the signals you get are slower. So the ones you do get, they take more time, but once they come, they're usually a lot more significant. And so that's just something to keep in mind. So that's what I'm currently looking at on Bitcoin. On the daily time frame, we're running into this resistance zone. Here's our other support level down here. 4-hour time frame, main support level, this black candle right here. If we go below that level, gray zone, like I said, which is that daily level from over here, which is right around 52,700. And that's all I got for this one, guys. If you like this video, give it a like down below. Leave a comment if you have any questions about anything we talked about. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.